For the membership of Board of Education, there were 3 full term for 3 years. The people that won were Judy Mayer with 6,775 votes, Susie Golderer with 6,554 votes, Sheethel M. Abraham with 5,044 votes. An oath of office will be given by Attorney Kate Gilfillan.
This evening, as we do our oath of office, we're going to be doing these individually as this is going to be recorded so that we have a clean record. We will start this evening with Ms. Abraham. So if you would please repeat after me, raise your right hand. State your name.
Sheethel Abraham,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I state your name,
I, Sheethel Abraham,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of a Board of Education.
am not disqualified
I am not disqualified
as a voter pursuant
as a
to
voter pursuant to
RS 19:4-1,
RS 19:4-1,
and am not disqualified to serve
and I'm not disqualified to serve
due to a conviction of a crime
due to a conviction of a crime
or offense listed in NJS 18A:12-1,
or offense listed in NJS 18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ms. Abraham, you will also sign the oath of office for a electronic oath. You're going to return that to Joni within the 3 days. She'll send it to you, sign that up for you, okay?
No problem. Thank you.
Ms. Mayer?
I'm here.
Okay. Ms. Mayer, will you please repeat after me? I state your name,
I, Judy Mayer,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your
I,
name,
Judy Mayer,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member of the Board of Education,
for the office of member of the Board of Education,
am not disqualified as a voter
and not, excuse me, and not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
pursuant to RS 19:1,
and am not disqualified to serve
and I'm not disqualified to serve
due to conviction of a crime
due to conviction of a crime
or offense
or offense
listed in NJS 18A:12-1,
in NJS 18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mrs. Golder,
Yes, ma'am.
you all ready?
I am.
Okay. Please raise your right hand.
Okay.
I state your name.
I, Susie Golderer,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, Susie Golderer,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
am not disqualified as a voter
and not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
and am not disqualified to serve
and am not disqualified to serve
due to a conviction or of a crime or offense
due to a conviction of a crime or offense
listed in NJS 18A:12-1,
listed in NJS 18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you. Congratulations to everyone.
Thank you. Congratulations.
I am now going to call the roll for the attendance of the board members. Mrs. Abraham,
Here.
Mr. Berrios,
Here.
Mr. Chaffo,
Here.
Mrs. Cogan,
Here.
Mr. DeVito,
Here.
Mrs. Golderer,
Here,
Mrs. Mayer,
Here.
Mrs. Orm,
Here.
Mrs. Von Aiken.
Here.
Thank you, everyone. We will now have the election of our officers, starting with the president. Are there any nominations for president of the Board of Education?
I have a nomination.
Mrs. Mayer,
Thank you. Tonight, I am pleased and honored to nominate Allison Cogan for the office of president. Allison has demonstrated a true commitment to the Parsippany Troy Hill School District. She constantly seeks ways to improve her effectiveness as a board member by attending numerous workshops, legislative committee meetings, and delegate assemblies, and then she turnkeys information to the full board. She has achieved certified board member status, master board member status, and certified board leader status. True desire to be an asset to our board and our district. I'm sure her experience as vice president for the past, excuse me, for the past 5 years has served as has a great learning and training experience for the role of president. Please accept this nomination, which I make with absolutely no reservations. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations for President of the Board of Education?
Yes, Madam Attorney, I have a nomination.
Okay, Mr. Chapa?
Thank you. I'm thrilled to nominate Mr. Tim Berrios for Board of Education President. Tim first joined the board in 2013. Tim has proven over the past 8 years that he is compassionate as well as tenacious, principled, but willing to listen to all points of view. He is level-headed, but also willing to challenge the status quo when necessary. Tim has guided our district through troubled waters, providing behind-the-scenes leadership to effect crucial change. He also knows when to stay the course through calm waters and in cooperation with an outstanding administration. 2022 will be a year of promise. It will be a busy year. We in the world will return to normalcy. We will advance the mission of the district with a new strategic plan, collaboration among board members, and inclusivity for all. Let the waves in the water this year be that of our ship, moving ahead at full speed to chart a course to our next adventure. Please join me in voting for Tim Berrios as board president.
Are there any other nominations for President of the Board? Hearing no more, I will now close the nominations and take a vote for the nomination of Allison Cogan for President. Mrs. Abraham?
No.
Mr. Berrios?
No.
Mr. Chapa?
No.
Mrs. Cogan?
Yes.
Mr. DeVito?
No.
Mrs. Golderer?
Before I say anything, I'd like to make a few comments, if I may. That would be that I truthfully believe, and I have said this I've been on the board since 2011, and I have said this many a times to many board members. I've never been in what you call the crowd. I've always been on the sidelines, which is quite okay with me. And but I have always said that everyone on the board is very qualified for many reasons. We come from different backgrounds. We have different interests. We can, I think we're all very bright people. And I apologize for my dog. I really have I really do believe that everyone on the board deserves and needs an opportunity to for taking on the role of either president or vice president. It isn't anything. We're not going to be running, the district. That job still belongs to Dr. Sargent. We're stewards of the district. We're responsible for making sure that horrible things don't happen on our watch, but it's all done through an incredible administration that we have, not only through Dr. Sargent, but also through the district itself. I mean, we're a well-oiled machine, and it's amazing, from our custodians to our, to our staff, to our to principals, to, our supervisors. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's like I personally said to Allison that I would be more than willing to support her and have Andy be as VP in the discussions that have occurred, and I can't, it's like, and I've been very honest and truthful with everything. And I would, and I'm torn because, and this is my personal feeling. I really do feel that, that yes, a lot of things are coming down the pike, but I'm torn because if Allison is not president, then Tim becomes president. If, then my concern is, and I have no qualms or problems whatsoever, again, that Tim would make a good president, an excellent president such as Allison. That's not the point. My concern is that, and again, even, and I'm going to mention Andy, and many of us, okay, my concern, Andy's not there tonight. He's got work related, he's working. I mean, that's his main function as a person is, he works for someone and he has to be there. And, with things that are happening, I want to make sure that we as a board, can handle this properly, have time, and give the district the time, dedication, effort that it deserves. Can Andy, for example, handle, being a VP? Absolutely, eyes closed. But will he have the time and dedication to give the position? And the same thing, I mean, Allison, CPA, taxes are coming up, and it's a crazy world for her. So this is going to be, and again, it's like, then it would leave me to make a decision for me to vote for Tim and Judy as vice president. Is it a perfect world? Absolutely not. So I wish things were different. And I want all of you to know how incredibly impressed I am with everyone and how much I value your desire to serve on this board, because it is not easy and we spend a lot of hours, and no one stops us and says thank you, and that's okay, because we took it on knowing that. So I will vote no on Allison, but I am very concerned, okay, on but again, Tim, if I vote for you, you have 1 year, and hopefully things will, hopefully you guys will, you'll prove me, you're going to prove, everybody's going to prove me right. You guys are all good, but that we can help the district better. So that's my vote. Sorry.
Mrs. Mayor?
I got lost with everything. Can you just repeat what we're doing here? We're voting
For
for
Allison.
For
Yes.
Allison?
Yes, I vote for Allison. Thank you.
Mrs. Orm?
Yes.
Mrs. Von Aiken?
Yes.
That motion fails. We move to the next nomination.
Do you want me to
Kate, I
go
didn't
through-
hear you. I didn't hear. What did Kate say? I'm sorry.
I didn't understand it either.
So that nomination failed. Go to the next nomination.
Okay. For nomination of President Tim Berrios, the vote, Mrs. Abraham,
Yes.
Mr. Berrios,
Yes.
Mr. Chaffo,
Yes.
Mrs. Cogan,
No.
Mr. DeVito,
Yes.
Mrs. Golderer,
Yes.
Mrs. Mayor,
I'm sorry. No.
Mrs. Orm,
No.
Mrs. Von Aiken.
That motion carries. Mr. Berrios may take the seat of president and call for the nominations of vice president.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for your votes. And I guess now we're going to do the nomination of vice president. I would like to make a nomination. I would like to have the honor of nominating Mr. Andy Chaffo. I have had the pleasure of knowing this gentleman for the past 8 years. He has served on the Board of Education for 13 of the past 16 years. He is a student of Dr. Frank Calabria and subscribes to Dr. Calabria's philosophy of doing what is in the best interest of children. He is fearless in expressing his opinion and keeping to his core values, even if it is not popular. Yet, he is open-minded and carefully listens to the concerns and opinions of others. As we start the 2022 Board of Education term, with all the challenges this board will face over the next 11 months, it is of vital importance that we have his background in the role of vice president. It is my pleasure and honor to nominate Mr. Andy Chaffo as vice president.
I also have a nomination. I would like to nominate Judy Mayer for vice president of the board. Judy has been a board member for the past 7 years. Prior to joining the board, she was an elementary school teacher and also served as president of the teachers union before retiring. In the time that I've served with Judy on this board, I've known her to be articulate, kind, and fair. She listens to all sides of the conversation before making any decisions. Her experience as both a teacher and a school board member give Judy the knowledge and insights that would make an excellent leader of this board.
Mr. Berrios?
May I make a statement before the vote?
Wait a minute, we need to call for any other nominations.
Yeah, do we have any other nominations for a role of vice president of the board? Okay, I do not see any. Mrs. Mayor, you needed to make a statement?
I would like to make a statement, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Please do.
Thank you, Kendra, for the nomination. Congratulations, Mr. Berrios. For the first time in many years, we have multiple candidates for the leadership positions, each with the best interest of the board and district in mind. After hearing from the candidates, we are tasked with the hard decision of choosing who is to fill those positions. This is an awesome responsibility. Careful thought goes into each decision. I thank everyone for their consideration and listening to me and asking questions. I am absolutely confident that when all is said and done, we will have a unified board offering support and encouragement. With that said, I am honored to accept the nomination. Thank you.
Okay. At this point, can we get a roll call vote, please?
For the nomination of vice president for Andy Chaffo, Mrs. Abraham,
Yes.
Mr. Berrios,
Yes.
Mr. Chaffo,
Yes.
Mrs. Cogan,
No.
Mr. DeVito,
Yes.
Mrs. Golderer,
May I ask a question? If it, of our attorney,
Certainly, Mrs. Holger.
if the nomination fails, either one of them, do you open up again for
Correct. So the bylaws require a majority of the board to vote. If neither receives a majority, we go through the process again. The fact that a candidate has been nominated does not prevent the same candidate from being nominated a second time. Does that clarify your question?
Yes. No.
Mrs. Mayer,
Whenever Susie asks the question, I get off track. This is for the nomination of Mr. Chaffo, correct? Yes? Okay.
Yes, yes.
I get
Yes,
off
it is.
track. I'm sorry. I'm limited. I have COVID fog. No.
Mrs. Orm,
No.
Mrs. Von Aiken.
No.
The motion does not pass. For Judy Mayer as Vice President of the Board of Education, Mrs. Abraham. I'm sorry?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Berrios,
No,
Mr. Chaffo,
Yes.
Mrs. Cogan,
Yes.
Mr. DeVito,
No.
Mrs. Goldrew,
Yes.
Mrs. Mayer,
Yes.
Mrs. Orm,
Yes.
Mrs. Von Aiken.
Yes.
The motion passes with Mrs. Mayer as the newly elected Vice President.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.